Alrighty, I'm pretty sure everybody's heard about what Jimmy Kimmel had to say about Kirk's yeeter. Well, I'll pop in a short video and take it from there.
The MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
You know, you could easily flip that around and say Jimmy Kimmel is desperately trying to portray the kid who yeeted Charlie Kirk as anything other than a lefty whack job. And as for this brainwashed youth, kid, because that's what he is, he's brainwashed. He has a trans boyfriend. He wrote, "Here fascisti catch," at least on one of the bullets. And even his family said he was a leftist nut job. Because I think his father turned him in. I could be wrong. So if it sounds like a trans lefty nut job, it acts like a trans lefty nut job, and it looks like a trans lefty nut job, it probably is a trans lefty nut job.
ABC taking Jimmy Kimmel off the air indefinitely after making these comments about the aftermath of conservative commentator Charlie Kirk's murder.
The MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them.
It's caught people's attention on Capitol Hill.
There are many people that disagree, and that's the risk of giving your opinion, because typically talk show hosts don't give their opinions, but times have changed drastically.
Typically, talk show hosts don't give their opinion. Yeah, because if they give their opinion, they might tick off half their audience. Which, surprise, that's what talk show hosts have been doing, because more often than not, they're left-leaning, which is ticking off the right, which is why talk show host ratings are in the toilet. And as for times changing, not necessarily for the better, I would say. We're literally living in a very polarized society where you can't have a civil discussion about topics and problems facing society without having to worry about being, pew-pewed.
Nexstar, which owns 20 plus stations that broadcast ABC shows, did just that, saying his values don't align with the communities it serves, leading ABC to pull the show nationwide. So far, Jimmy hasn't responded to the move.
I think I found a response he made. Jess Waters. Waters? I think that's Waters with 2 T's. Breaking. Jimmy Kimmel was planning on doubling down and attacking MAGA again before he got suspended. ABC executives told Kimmel to go on air and apologize, but instead, he had wrote a very hot monologue, taking aim at MAGA. So I don't know how accurate this is, but I'm just gonna go with it. See, the reason why he did that, he knows he's getting suspended, even if he apologizes. It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. So he might as well try to appeal to that radical leftist base, because he could make a what? A podcast or something. I think a few of them have actually made podcasts. I don't know how successful they are, but it's always possible. Now see me, what I would have done? I would have taken him into the back room and said, you have one of 2 options. 1, you apologize, you make a donation to Turning Point USA, and you get to keep your job. The apology would be something to the effect of, because of rhetoric like mine, it galvanized or turned up the temperature of the political situation on the left. Something like that. The second option would go like this. If you refuse to apologize, you lose your job. You get suspended. Now, given those 2 options, which option would he have taken? Probably option 1.
You want to talk about what's happening in the news that day, and sometimes things touch you personally, and sometimes things really hit home. And, I just feel like, I started in radio. I did a morning radio show. We always spoke about things and opinions and whatever we wanted to speak about. So it's really more a return to that approach to broadcasting than your traditional Johnny Carson style talk show.
So he himself says that it's a different form of media between radio and talk show. If you want to go back to radio, go back to radio. He tried to change talk show into radio, and he was soundly rejected, and now he's getting suspended. So, there you go. And people on the right, they're cheering him getting suspended. Me? No, I don't agree with it. A few reasons. One, the left is already blaming Trump. So that's not good. They're calling Trump a fascisti, a Yahtzee, a tyrant or whatever. I mean, they've been calling him that for like 10 years, but it's just more fuel on the fire. Same thing with that other talk show host that got suspended or fired. I can't remember his name. I don't really care to. I was never into talk show hosts or talk shows. Second reason, just let them talk. Freedom of speech. Let them say what they want to say. I see all these lefties, they said all kinds of stuff on TikTok about Kirk, and now they're losing their jobs. They're getting expelled, or they're getting evicted. Just let them talk. Well, anywho, that's it for my thoughts on this matter. Take care out there in Clown World.